To build the best football program in the country at Vanderbilt University, where we have the best school in the best city, in the best conference, with the best facilities on the horizon. As our efforts start with their vision, it's important for me to start by acknowledging and thanking them both. It's awesome to be in Atlanta. I had the chance.
Clark Leah, are you serious? Vanderbilt is not national title material. You're never going to have the best college football program. No one even knows where you came from, Clark Leah. You stink, man. You're at a dead-end job. Vanderbilt goes 2-10 this year. We could both agree they're going to be last in the SEC.
I hope they lose all their games. They play Hawaii week 1. I'm going to wear my Hawaii shirt. I know I have a Hawaii shirt, but I'm going to wear it. Just because, dude, I hope he loses every single game. So we're here today. This is our first episode, and we're excited about it. Aaron, how you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good. We just want to welcome all of you to the All Talk Conference, the first live show. We'd love for you to comment, and if you have any questions, it will be live, and Tyler will tell us some of those questions if it's relevant, if it's good. So if you have any good feedback, please let us know. We're excited. Today we're going to be covering the SEC. We're going to just kind of break down the schedules, tell you what we think's going to happen, and we'd love to hear what you think's going to happen.
So I've been looking forward to this for what? We started talking about this, 3 weeks ago? And you're just like, hey, Dustin, I want to start a podcast, a TV show for talking about primarily about college football. And I was like, let's do it. I'm all for it. So we've been looking forward to it. And, dude, what's better than watching college football? It's the next best thing is talking about college football and making predictions. We're 25 days away till the season kicks off, and there's just nothing better than getting up on Saturday morning, turning on College Game Day, looking to see what Lee Corso is going to put on his headgear, and it's just an awesome time of year. So let's get right down to it, and let's start talking about the SEC East first off. So who do you got?
You want Irish
We-
first? Whose predictions do you want first?
We definitely are high on some teams that maybe you might not like. Today we're going to talk about the East, and first of all, we're just going to say Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's going 2-10. Clark Lee is a joke. Vanderbilt's a joke. So we don't want to have any more conversation about them. Who do you have kind of at the top of the conference? What do you think the record will be and things like that?
Well, when I look at the East, and I'm a Georgia fan. We're all Georgia fans here and everything like that, but we're not being biased by any means. But if you look at last year, Alabama and Georgia just were at the very top. And, as far as talent, athleticism, physicality, I'm sounding just like Kirby Smart right now. But anyway, they're just with leagues above everybody else. And I got Alabama going 12-0 in the SEC, and I've got Georgia going 12-0 in the SEC right now. Where it gets hairy is
I kind of tend to disagree. I think Alabama's going to run the table.
Okay.
We'll talk about the West in a second. I do believe that Georgia will drop a game somewhere in there. I think that it's hard to go undefeated 2 years in a row. We've not really seen it happen. We always kind of see, like Alabama last year, blew one to Texas A&M. Whatever you think about Texas A&M, they weren't a good team. They went 8-4. They weren't good. I kind of think Georgia, if I were to say they dropped somewhere, I would. And y'all are all going to laugh at me, but I would say at South Carolina would be the place that they're going to lose because it's early on in the season. It's going to be a challenging game. South Carolina has 15 starters coming back. They have Spencer Rattler, he's a good quarterback. I know people tend to disagree, but in his first year starting at Oklahoma, he threw for 3,500 yards and 28 touchdowns, led him to a good season. Last year, he got replaced by Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams is the man. He is going to run it in Southern Cal.
And still, half the season, Spencer Rattler played, and he still got 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns, and he threw 5 picks. But again, he played half the year. I don't understand what the hate was about Spencer Rattler. Oklahoma fans, let us know why y'all dislike Spencer Rattler so much. I just want to know, because it just seemed there was more to it than Caleb Williams just being that good. I don't see it. It looks like Spencer Rattler is going to be good, and it's going to be a great fit for South Carolina under Shane Beamer. So I'm really looking forward to USC. But, man, you've got USC beating Georgia?
Yeah, I think South Carolina gets the best of them. I just think it's always been a tough team for Georgia to play, and and right here, it's at South Carolina. It's week 3. And I think Georgia only returns 10 starters this year to South Carolina's 15. And I understand those 10 starters are way better than South. And what we got on the bench is way better. Georgia is going to be good. Don't get me wrong. I think they go 11-1. This will be their only loss, their only hiccup. But I would say the Gamecocks will get them. They got them a few years ago when they went 4-8, so it's not out of the question.
I was going to say, does that have something to do with it? Also, I understand that you went to Columbia before. Is that place wild?
That place is wild. Me and my wife have been all over the SEC pretty much, and Columbia has awful fans. They're terrible. Look, I mean, coming from if I was a part of the fan base, I would love it, but going there being the opposing team's fan base, they literally will destroy you. I went in 2011 when we lost, and going out of the game, people just straight up harassed us, had terrible things. We got cussed out. Inside the stadium, the fan base was wild. They all jump around. South Carolina is the most underrated place to play that is a tough place to play.
Now, you say in South Carolina their fan base is terrible. You know who I want to give a shout out to, which fan base in the SEC? I know they're a basketball school. But Lexington, Kentucky, what an environment that place is. Everyone was so nice. We went and tailgated out with some, friends and that we made in Kentucky while we were up in Lexington. That place is awesome. I definitely want to go back in the future.
Kentucky's going to be good this year too. So what do you have South Carolina?
So
what's kind of your picks for them since we're talking about them?
So South Carolina, I've got them going 6-6, and here's my thing with South Carolina, and it's. You look at the SEC from top to bottom, and it's just such a madhouse. Like, there's just so many good teams. There's so many uncertainties. We don't know how good Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida, all these teams are going to be. Don't start. Anyway, so we look at South Carolina here, and I've got them losing to Arkansas, and then I've got them losing to Georgia, and you have them losing or beating Georgia.
Yeah, I think they'll beat Georgia.
I've got them losing to A&M, Florida, Tennessee, and Clemson.
You haven't beaten Kentucky?
I have them beating Kentucky. That's the one game that I think Kentucky is going to drop. But so going on that the South Carolina thing, let me throw out some things right there. So Aaron was speaking about Spencer Rattler, and just to throw this back out there. So in 2020, he had 3,031 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. In 2021, he had 1,483 yards, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Only played half the season. So when we look at South Carolina last year, there were a ton of different quarterbacks that played. So we got Luke Doty. All right. You got Zeb Nolan.
Shout out to Zeb Nolan.
Stevens County. All right. And then the next thing we look at is like they were the third lowest in the SEC with passing stats last year. But here's the kicker here. They were 6th in total defense, so they're right in the middle of that pack. They were a good defensive team, and they got 15 returning starters this year. So you add an offense with Spencer Rattler. Let's say he does well. South Carolina's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, and I look from beginning to end the improvement South Carolina had last year. They laid an egg against Clemson, but the improvement throughout the year to me was good. I'm a big believer in Shane Beamer. I think he's turning the program around. Last year, they went 7-6, which was impressive. Like, I know you look at that record and you're like, man, but what he took over was a nightmare. Took them to a bowl game and won the bowl game. Now they've got 15 starters returning, 8 on offense, 7 on defense, and that's not including Spencer Rattler, which is a seasoned quarterback. And you might not like him, but I think he's going to be good. I have South Carolina losing at Arkansas. I do have them beating Georgia, and I have them losing at Kentucky and then losing to Missouri. I think South Carolina's going to go 9-3, and some people might think I'm a little high on them, but I've mulled through this, looked at what I think, and just with what they have returning, I think they're going to be a solid team this year. And I also have them finishing 3rd in the East, which obviously I have Georgia winning the East even with that loss, like I told you earlier. So I have them finishing 3rd. And the team I have in front of them in the East is Kentucky. I think Kentucky finishes 2nd in the East. I have Kentucky going 10-2, losing at Ole Miss and losing to Georgia. I think Will Levis is the real deal.
He's a top in the mock draft already. They're already talking about he's going to be a top 10 pick in this upcoming NFL draft, which kind of surprised me, but then I start thinking about it, and I'm like,